Hello everyone, thank you all for being here tonight. I'd like to start off with two things. First off, thank you to everyone pushing me to run for eBoard. I really appreciate that more than you guys know. Secondly, I'd like to thank everyone who's running for an eBoard position because I know it takes a lot to put yourself out there and I truly respect that. My name is Gavin Macias. I'm currently in my second semester as a freshman studying mechanical engineering. I'm honored to be running for executive vice president. Before I ever stepped onto this campus, I had already heard about SHPE, not from a speaker or a presentation, but from my father. He told me about how SHPE impacted his life, and one story in particular that always stuck with me was from when he went to convention during his undergraduate years. He handed his resume to a recruiter and got rejected almost immediately. But the following year, through a connection he made in SHPE, that same resume ended up back in front of the exact same recruiter, and that time he got the job. The difference between rejection and success wasn't luck. It was one connection that he made through SHPE. Hearing that showed me early on that SHPE isn't just an organization. It's something that can truly change your life. And when I got here, I didn't just join SHPE. I believed in it enough to bring others with me. I encouraged my friends to come, to show up, and to experience what I believe this organization could offer. But the moment it really became real for me was at my first social event, Scare Minnesota. That's when I got to talk to eBoard members, meet new people, and really understand who was in this organization. And that's when it clicked. SHPE isn't just about the resumes or the internships or convention. It's about being surrounded with people who genuinely want to see you succeed. It's a community where people support you, push you, and want to grow with you. And that's when I realized something truly important. You don't need to come into SHPE with experience. SHPE is where you gain it. And that's exactly why I care so much about this role. As executive vice president, one of the biggest responsibilities is planning convention and focusing on retention. And while convention is an incredible opportunity I wish everyone could go, I believe it shouldn't be the peak of our experience. It should be the starting point. My goal is to extend the impact of convention beyond those few days by creating a post-convention system focusing on three things: reflection, growth, and community. Creating spaces where members can come together and talk about their experiences, what they learned, what went well, and what didn't go well. Building on that through opportunities to improve, whether that's refining resumes or learning how to follow up with recruiters or gaining confidence in professional settings. And most importantly, continuing to build community because that's what keeps people coming back. Because the reality is not everyone's gonna walk away from convention with an internship or a job. I certainly didn't. But what I did walk away with was something just as important: experience, confidence, and a better understanding of how to grow professionally. And no member should ever feel discouraged because of that. My goal is to make sure every member feels supported, they feel valued, and leaves not just with results, but with a direction. Because at the end of the day, SHPE isn't defined by events or titles. It's defined by its members, the people who show up, the people who stay, and the people who grow. And as someone who is still new to this organization, I understand how important that is how important that first experience is. Because if we get it right, we don't just retain members for one semester, we have the chance to build a community that lasts for years. So as vice president, I want to be the person who ensures every member, new, returning, or current, feels like they belong, feels like they're supported, and has a reason to keep on coming back. Because being in this room right now, surrounded by people who are striving to grow, striving to lead, and support one another, that's something truly special. And as executive vice president, it would be an honor to continue building that. Thank you.
Everyone sort of mentions about retaining new members.
Sure.
But not a lot of people talk about when you have those members and they are retained, how do you keep them from coming? And how do you keep them from not doing something else or kind of leaving? So how would you kind of retain older members?
To make them understand that this is a very important club, that there's a lot of different benefits that can come from this club, and just try to make sure they understand that this should be on the priority list, that this is a club that will give you good things back if you put in the work and if you put in the effort to get those good things back. Right?
One of the big rules about this club is definitely the social aspect and building a community. So what are some plans for some potential socials or potential group gatherings that you have?
A big one that I mentioned in the speech was trying to have socials after convention so we can conversate about everything that went good, everything that went bad, everything in between. Because in my experience, I didn't have that setting where I could just talk. I mean, I had a couple of buddies that I could talk about that too, but there wasn't really a social event that everyone who went to convention could talk about those things. And another aspect is bringing in more socials during the spring, right? I'm not sure quite yet which socials and what the setting is and what's the event specifically. However, I would definitely like to integrate more socials during the spring.
Another thing is your professional development as EVP. You're in charge of, getting prepared to go to convention.
Yeah.
What do you have planned to do or
I,
add on to?
not necessarily new. I think a lot of the things that we did together when you were, or with VP, your current VP, a lot of things that you did were really well. I think it prepared me, and I think I could definitely lean on those ideas and grow those ideas. But you did a really good job with what you had planned out. So definitely following your footsteps.
That was my question. Retention's really, really important, but in regards to getting new members, we're seeing even like a growth of more technical clubs on campus. As an engineer, that's really important.
Sure.
How do you plan on swaying new students and even older students to join our organization versus like a technical club, like a design building?
Well, because those are two distinct, like a technical club and this is a professional development club. So they're two different things. But I'm sure if we were to promote it well enough to understand that, for people to understand that those are two different type of clubs, but they're both important and they're both in their respective aspects. So promoting it so people understand that this is a professional development club, but it's also it could lead to many positive impacts.
So talk to me about
Sure.
that promotion.
Well, definitely working with the media director and the webmaster to try to promote these things on social media. I think that would be a very good idea, right? Having more socials is definitely another good aspect that could bring a lot more retention, right, with the students, and just to create more of a family with the people who want to join this club, right? I'm sure technical clubs do have social events and whatnot, but to create more of a community with this club